We just got some important federal news today. What we saw happen today was the Supreme Court side with the president when it comes to lower courts and placing injunctions. So, President Trump is declaring this a victory over what he considers to be radical left judges. And if you've been paying attention to the news recently, you've witnessed that when President Trump takes an action, usually that there's a lower level court, a federal judge that places an injunction. This has happened when it comes to scaling back the union, removing union protections, freezing funding, freezing money, dismantling U.S. aid, and things like that. The widespread layoffs, the reduction in forces. So injunctions have been placed every step along the way. This ruling, which is Trump versus CASA, C-A-S-A, it took about three and a half months to get a verdict. This ruling is now telling the lower courts to review their injunction. Because when they place an injunction, it is not supposed to be for everyone in the public. It is solely for the individuals that are suing the Trump administration. So it has a more of a narrow focus. Now, a lot of people are saying that because the Supreme Court ruled in this way, they're going to be able to proceed with the reduction in forces. They're going to be able to proceed with the layoffs. But not so fast, right? Because legal battles still need to be fought. And if you heard the president earlier today, he mentioned that now his policies are going to be able to go through. And that's not exactly what the ruling is saying here. The lower level courts are going to have to review their injunctions. That doesn't mean they have to lift all of them completely. It's going to be, depending on the situation and context for each one of these injunctions. Now, the injunction is not to block policy for everyone in the country like I listed. So we could see some lifted. But as far as the widespread layoffs, a decision will more than likely not be reached until mid to late July. Now, of course, it could be any day now, but realistically speaking, the best estimation is probably mid to late July. And it could still go either way. Now, people that are pro-Trump and anti-federal workforce, they're going to be celebrating this as a win and as proof of overreach when it comes to lower level courts. But we really won't know anything until these legal battles are able to play out. Now, I think what most of us have been witnessing really is the strengthening of the position of president. And a lot of people are concerned about that because they want Congress to be more involved. We have witnessed people in the Trump administration suggest that he should be the president should be the person to manage and be ultimately responsible for the taxpayer money, where that responsibility is inherently within Congress, within your congressional representatives. And there's been this effort time and time again to bypass or circumvent congressional awareness and congressional approval. And part of the reason could be, well, it takes too long. I want to get my policies enacted as soon as possible. But you have to remember that everyone in the federal workforce, they're pledging their oath to the Constitution. The Constitution is first and foremost. After that, you have the laws. After that, you have regulations. And then towards the bottom of the pyramid, you have your executive actions and your executive orders, which are, as long as they're lawful, as long as they meet the laws and regulation and they're supported by the Constitution, there's no issue there. But this avoidance of going through Congress is what is raising a red flag in a lot of people's heads. So we're going to have to continue to wait, even though we're seeing some agencies like the State Department. There was a headline today that they're going to go ahead and proceed with their RIFs. And then you have agencies that do not fall under the main 19 federal agencies. The smaller agencies, they're doing layoffs right now as well. But for everyone else, we're going to have to wait and see how this whole thing plays out. All right, stay updated by signing up to the free newsletter down below. Join me on the live stream coming up this Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.